Hi there. This video is going to be about our recent experience cruising on P&O Azura. So if that's of interest to you, then watch on. Hi there. I'm Mama Jane's husband, and this is
Mama Jane.
And we recently did our first fly cruise with P&O, and it went very smoothly, didn't it, Mama Jane?
It did, because I have to say I was not looking forward to it. I like to travel to Southampton and come back to Southampton, and so I was really thinking I don't want to do this, but we did, and you know what? It was a breeze.
Yeah, we got on our plane at 7 a.m. at Manchester Airport, and we were on the ship just after 1 p.m. in Malta. So that's not bad, is it?
No.
No, you know, that's quite impressive. And we got on the ship and we did our muster drill. And so we're an usual inside cabin sailors, as ever. And what do you think of the cabin then, Mum Jane?
Perfectly fine. Very nice. Just your bog standard inside cabin. Don't forget it's a P&O ship, so you do get tea and coffee making facilities. We had a very nice steward. Got to give her a big shout out for Rona.
Yeah, for Rona. Yeah. She was fabulous.
She was fabulous. And so, yeah, there's nothing to tell you about it actually, because if you've been in an inside cabin, you've been in an inside cabin.
And I didn't need the hairdryer, but you needed the hairdryer.
And it was, as cruise ship hairdryers go, it was good.
Yeah. There was the inevitable curtain in the shower. And the shower was minute. That is one thing I remember.
Yeah,
being a big sort of a chap,
yeah,
there wasn't a big turning circle in the shower.
But the shower itself, and this always, and I'm sure I've said it before, I'm absolutely amazed at how good showers are on ships. Yeah.
Now, the only thing we would say about the cabin is that we've heard reports that P&O Azura was, what's the word I'm looking for, Mama Jane?
Shabby.
Shabby, yeah. Well, we didn't think it was shabby, but we did think it was dated.
Yeah.
So just a bit like if you got a kitchen in your house from 2010, in 2023, it would be looking a bit dated.
Not necessarily shabby.
Not necessarily shabby, but if you'd got a trendy kitchen in 2010, in 2023, it would look dated. And this cruise ship will have been a trendy cruise ship in 2010. So in 2023, it looks dated.
But we certainly didn't see anything particularly shabby about it.
No.
No.
And some cruise ships, we've been on some cruise ships older than 2010, and they haven't looked dated or shabby, and I think that's because they were more of a classical design. So I think that for us, it was dated rather than shabby.
It'll be interesting to see what Iona looks like in 23 years. She's
it'll be
already looking a bit
grubby
in some areas. So bear that in mind. The one thing also that gets criticised are the toilets. Now, the toilets, two problems with toilets. One, people put things in that should not be in, and therefore, because of the system on a ship, it's not a flushing system as such that we're used to. You're going to get problems. And also maintenance, if it's not a good maintenance schedule. And we found that we didn't have floods. There was no, and I'm talking about the public toilets. We had no problem with our cabin toilet. But there wasn't the flooding that's been reported where we were. But they often were not in order, working, you know, and some were not working for quite a few days.
So some of the public toilets, for the 2 weeks we were on board, some of the sinks weren't working. They're out of order for 2 weeks, which is ridiculous. And some of the cubicles in the men's toilets were out of order for 2 weeks. Just not acceptable, that, you know. And that put pressure on the toilet system, I think. So some of the toilets smelt. Now, I did have to go and complain about one, and I have to say it was... Within minutes, it was closed, and it was deep cleaned, and it was sorted out.
So what we're saying is, look, if you find this is a good conversation. No, but if you
It's not bog standard.
If you find a toilet that's not working or not up to what you would expect as a standard, then don't get it on Facebook, because that can't help you. Go to a member of management staff, and they're wandering about all the time, and tell them, and they will do something.
They'll sort it.
We found that, absolutely.
If you reported a problem, it got sorted.
Yeah. Now, the one problem that didn't, and I don't know what this problem is, on level 7 between the...
it was stinky poos.
It was disgusting.
It was
the smell between the the art gallery and the entertainment area.
Malibu, not Malibu.
No. Anyway, whatever. I don't know. Anyway, the smell was. I don't just mean, that smells a bit funny.
It was retching.
I mean, it made you retch. Now, I am an ex-nurse and I am used to smells, but I found it eye-watering. I don't know what it was, so I don't know.
So there are some issues on the ship, and P&O need to get them sorted out. But we still had a really good cruise.
Fabulous cruise.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. We did have a really good cruise, and the pool areas. We sort of liked the pool areas, didn't we?
Yeah.
They sort of worked for us. Now, one of my usual gripes: 2 out of the 6 whirlpools were out of action. What is that about? Yeah. And on one particular day, because they got people on to service all the whirlpools, 4 out of the 6 were out of action because they were being serviced. Now, to me, it's not rocket science that you wouldn't pick a sea day to service your jacuzzi pools. You do them on a port day. So, come on.
And bearing in mind, this was very hot weather, and it was, so they were in use.
And they were in use, and we were sailing at 110% capacity. There were quite a lot of kids on board, so we were... there were more than 2 people in each cabin, because of the children present. That's not a problem, but it meant there were 4 people in some cabins, so it meant that we were actually sailing with 110% capacity. And the ship, I think, coped admirably with that. The poolside food was pretty good, actually, for P&O.
Absolutely.
We had I tried the hot dogs. I tried the burger, I tried the pizza, all in the interest of these cruise videos, you understand. And you even had some chicken burgers, didn't you? Yeah. All in the interest of these cruise videos. And they were quite nice, actually.
Yeah, they're fun.
And then we had again, just so that you know, we had the paid ice cream from Jude's, didn't we?
People who know me will know.
Mama Jane liked the ice cream.
I am an ice cream addict.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. And it was nice.
Yeah.
And the pool area was very widely used. It was very busy, but
very clean.
Very clean. But actually, even though we had the usual problem with sunbeds, can you believe it? 10 to 8 one morning, I'm going to breakfast because I'm on an early cruise excursion, and there's somebody putting out towels, and they put out 9 towels. I put a photo in. Absolutely ridiculous. Really, cruise companies have got to get a grip on this. Having said that, there were a lot of deck chairs. I mean, the recliners, the things people lie on to get burnt. There were lots of them, and you could probably find one somewhere, not necessarily by the pool.
Yeah. What is this magic about being by the pool? I don't know. Although, having said that, the only place you could get any shade was by the pool. That was one problem I found, that, as I mentioned in a previous video, I spent a lot of time on the ship this cruise because of a leg issue, and I found it very, very difficult in the sun to find shade, because there really isn't a lot, unless you stay inside. Obviously, there's places inside, but if you want to be outside, not easy. So I did think,
Yeah. There is a adult only swim pool and area, which is just outside the spa area, which I think is at the back of the at the front of the ship, isn't it? It's at the front of the ship. And that's quite a nice little pool, a couple of jacuzzis there, a nice place to sit, quite a nice area, and it is maintained as adult only. The aft area is a great place for sailorways. Again, there's a pool there, no jacuzzis there, but it's a nice terraced area. There's a bar there. The only thing I would say is an understaffed bar. So I would say we only managed to get a waiter for about 20% of our drinks, and we use that area quite a lot for the sailorways.
You could. The thing you have to do is go to the bar and order your drink, and then sit down, and then the waiter would bring it. You didn't have to wait.
You didn't have to wait
take
at the
your
bar.
drink. Yeah.
But they were under a lot of pressure, and considering the staffing they had in some of the other bars, it seemed understaffed. But that's a really nice little area, the aft area. It's nicely tiered. And we had a good time outside. So what did you think of the food, Mama Jane?
Fine. Absolutely
It was fine.
It's fine.
That's all, and that's where you're at. All the food was okay, weren't it?
It was absolutely fine. The buffet could get crowded. Again, the design of it, but
Yeah.
no, there was lots of choice.
Yeah.
Lots of choice. The curries were very good.
Absolutely. There was an Indian evening twice, wasn't there?
Yes.
Each week there was an Indian evening.
And if you like Indian food, there was other food as well. You didn't have to have curry, but
In fact, on one of the Indian evenings, they had this amazing joint. Do you remember?
Oh gosh, I intended asking what this thing was. I have never seen.
I think it was dinosaur.
It was like I don't know what it was. I don't know what bit of a cow. It was obviously a cow.
Yeah.
But I don't know which bit. And I kept thinking, I must ask what that was. And
because you had some of it, didn't you? And it was absolutely amazing. You said.
But I don't know what it was, but big.
And top tip, really, the if you're into Indian food, the quality of the Indian food on the Indian nights in the buffet is as good as we got in Sindhu.
Yeah, it is.
And we did. There'll be a video about specialty restaurants on Azura, but we had just a top tip. Really, make sure you go to the buffet on the Indian nights because the food is very good. So yeah, as far as the design of the buffet goes, it's not helped by the fact that they never have it all open. So it can get very crowded and you can get a few queues because they don't open it all. So again, I don't understand why they don't open it.
It's as if they do eventually open it, but they're not quick enough, I think.
Yeah.
That's
by the time they've realised they need to open the other part of it, it's too late.
Yeah.
And the busy times have gone. It's not rocket science on a port day when there's shore excursions leaving very early that it's going to be busy at 7 a.m. in the morning. They must know this, so why not have it all open so that people... Come on, P&O. It's not rocket science. And so, we had a fairly good... Whether it was in the main dining room, the buffet, specialty restaurants, we had a good food experience in general.
Well, we gained £9, let's put it that way.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, sadly, no omelette stations. That was a real downer. But I probably had the best fried egg and fried bread at sea as an alternative.
Hence the £9. It has gone now.
It's gone now. 2 weeks.
2 weeks and
in.
It's gone.
Yeah. Crash diet, gone. And then we have to talk about entertainment, really. Yeah.
Standard...
P&O,
standard, nothing wrong with it, perfectly adequate, perfectly good. Some of it we've sort of seen the same sort of thing, but then that's because we happen to cruise a lot, and so we shouldn't moan, we should just be grateful.
I would say most of the entertainment P&O, because we've cruised with P&O a few times now, lots of times, it's uninspiring. It's become uninspiring, I would say.
But as I said, the first time we went with P&O, we were like amazed. Wow. And it is wow. And if it's your first cruise, it's wow. But there comes a point where you think, So that's more to do with us than the entertainment. I think that in all fairness, Alex, whoever you are.
I'm not your father, darling. The only thing I would say, there were a couple of male singers in headlines who just couldn't sing. Why do you keep employing singers who can't sing?
Because when they were singing in a group,
they were fine.
They were excellent. And they did some extremely complicated harmonies.
And they were great.
And I love a harmony. And they were great. But then when they did the solo bits, they were not.
So it's a reoccurring theme with P&O, singers who can't sing. But hey-ho. Now then, so there were some good fly-ons, weren't there? These are the guest entertainers. We saw some good fly-ons. We saw a good comedian. You like the comedian, Mama Jane, didn't you?
Not rude. Not rude at all.
And we also had this crazy classical lot, which caused mayhem.
What were they called?
Absolutely caused mayhem.
Graffiti classics.
Graffiti classics. Don't be late for their show. You will regret being late for their show.
You'll be totally humiliated. So bear it in mind. And the humour was what we used to understand in the 1970s.
It was Benny Hill.
No, it weren't Benny Hill. Bernard Manning.
Bernard Manning, that's it. Bernard Manning.
No political correctness at all.
No. So, no filter.
No. But taking that aside, the musical ability, it's got to be seen to be believed. I'll leave it at that.
So some of the fly-ons were really, really good. All in all, we had a pretty good experience. We did. I would say, however, that the service on P&O is not up to the standards we experienced on other cruise ships. No. So in the last year, we've been on NCL, we've been on Celebrity, we've been on Princess, we've been on Cunard, and I would say the service levels on all 4 of those ships were at a higher level than P&O.
And I think initially it was because, we've had COVID and we couldn't get staff and blah, blah. And we could understand that, totally understand it. And we were just grateful that there were any staff. Now, the others have all got that sorted, or at least on the face of it. P&O, I'm not quite sure what's going on.
They're lagging behind
in everything.
In service, in entertainment, in quality of food. In every area, really, I would say they're lagging behind the other cruise companies. That does not mean that you will not have a great cruise
You'll have a
experience.
Fabulous cruise with them.
And they do it at a very competitive price point. All I'm saying is the other cruise companies give you a better experience in our experience.
But it will cost you more, and we're not talking about the very high price cruise companies. We're not. No. We're talking like a notch above P&O, and although you can get deals,
you can always get deals. One of our cheapest cruises ever has been on Cunard, and they've. But you just got to look for your deals.
Look for the deals, and we're lucky. We're retired. We can just go at the drop of a hat or whatever. We've got no restrictions. So
So that's it. There's going to be a fair few more videos about our experience on P&O Azura. Look out for some of our shoreside experiences. Look out for the ones on speciality restaurants, and also we've started posting sail away videos showing some time lapse and stuff of us leaving some of the ports, and some of them look quite good. And we've also started doing a few short videos that YouTube encourages to do, and actually some of them are quite good, aren't they? So you might be amused by 1 or 2 of them. So for now, it's a goodbye from
me,
and it's a goodbye from himself. So goodbye.